This isn't just another African country buried in news about gold mines, coups, or rising generals. No, Burkina Faso is a land soaked in mystery, sexual contradiction, and power plays. It's where tradition crashes into rebellion, where women dance between freedom and submission, and where one of the world's youngest presidents rules with a tight grip, and even tighter secrets. At the center of it all, Ibrahim Traore, a 36-year-old military man whose stone-cold gaze and strict rule hide more than just political ambitions. His leadership is triggering a cultural earthquake, but his private life? Sealed tighter than a royal vault. Before we dive into today's jaw-dropping Curvy facts about Burkina Faso, hit that subscribe button to join Curvy Destination. I bring you the most entertaining and curviest facts about the world's most seductive places and the most irresistible babes on Earth. Get ready for the facts they don't want you to know. Okay, number 16. Contraception still depends on the man. In Burkina Faso, most women don't get to decide how many kids they will have. That decision often belongs to their husbands. Since many women don't earn steady incomes, paying for birth control becomes a negotiation. And in most homes, men control the money and the rules. Even when clinics offer affordable injections or pills, husbands can easily shut it down. A young mother, already with 4 kids, has to stop her birth control because her husband doesn't want to pay for it anymore. Not because of money issues, but because he wants more children, whether she is ready or not. This kind of setup leaves women trapped in pregnancies they can't control, stretching their health and energy while men stay in charge of their bodies. 15. The First Lady is like a ghost. Burkina Faso has a president, but no one has seen the First Lady. There are no pictures, no interviews, no appearances. Her name isn't even public. While some believe this is for her protection, others say it's because she's expected to stay invisible, quietly supporting her husband behind closed doors, far from the spotlight. This silent role mirrors how many women live in the country, loyal, obedient, and unseen. Even at the top of power, women often disappear into the background, with no voice or face in the national conversation. 14. Love between the same sex could get you locked up. In 2024, the government of Burkina Faso proposed a harsh new law that could send people to prison just for being gay. The military leaders, backed by President Traore, claimed it was about protecting traditional values. But in reality, it's about control. In a culture where obeying social norms means survival, any expression of same-sex love is treated like a threat. People live in fear, hiding who they are, avoiding relationships, staying silent. The law didn't just target a community. It reminded everyone, step out of line, and the punishment will be personal. 13. Child marriage is still happening quietly. Even though the legal age for marriage is 18, many girls in Burkina Faso are still married off by age 12 or 13. These aren't love matches. They're arranged by families who see daughters as economic burdens. By marrying them off early, parents believe they're securing protection and reducing expenses. But these girls lose their chance to go to school. They face pregnancies far too young, with bodies not ready to handle childbirth. And their husbands, often decades older, holding complete control over their lives. It's a silent epidemic, with girls forced into adult roles before they even finish childhood. 12. A country returning to old-school rules. Since Ibrahim Traore came to power, there's been a clear shift toward conservative values. Messages from the top praise traditional families, obedience, and strict gender roles. Women are encouraged to dress modestly, stay loyal, and raise children, while men are seen as leaders, providers, and protectors. This push isn't just cultural. It's political. By leaning into tradition, the government builds national pride and distracts from deeper problems, like poverty, healthcare, or gender inequality. But for many women, it means fewer choices, less freedom, and a future that looks more like the past. 11. Women bleach their skin just to be good enough. In Burkina Faso, the beauty standard isn't dark and natural, it's light and glowing. Many women feel pushed to bleach their skin using dangerous chemical creams, hoping to look more civilized, more beautiful, more accepted. The pressure comes from all sides: fashion ads, job interviews, and even romantic relationships. Men often call lighter skin more attractive, and women who are darker get labeled as less feminine. 10. A woman's clothes can be used against her in court. In the legal system of Burkina Faso, women have fewer protections than men, especially when it comes to sexual violence. If a woman accuses a man of assault, one of the first things questioned is how she was dressed. Too tight, too short, too modern, and suddenly she's blamed for inviting it. Courts, police, and even families often suggest the woman must have wanted it. The result? Most cases never get reported. Women stay silent, ashamed and scared, knowing the law is stacked against them from the start. 9. Female genital cutting is still a private tradition. Despite being officially banned, female genital mutilation, FGM, still happens in hidden corners of Burkina Faso. Especially in rural areas, it's considered a rite of passage, something that cleanses a girl and prepares her for marriage. The procedure is often done without anesthesia, by older women using razors or blades. Girls as young as 5 are held down by relatives. And afterward, they're told to be proud, to be pure. The physical and emotional trauma lasts for life, but few speak out. Because in these communities, silence is honor, and pain is tradition. 8. A man can have 4 wives, but a woman can barely speak. Islamic law, practiced by many in Burkina Faso, allows men to marry up to 4 wives. But polygamy is more than a religious rule. It's a social norm. Wealthy men often take multiple wives to show power, success, and status. But while men enjoy this open privilege, women are expected to accept it without complaint. A wife who refuses to share her husband can be labeled jealous or ungrateful. And if she leaves, she risks losing her home, her children, and even her dignity. In a polygamous setup, a man's desire becomes law, and a woman's silence becomes survival. 7. Wearing Western clothes is seen as rebellion. In many parts of Burkina Faso, women wearing jeans, tight dresses, or short skirts are seen as disrespectful. Not just to their families, but to the entire culture. Western fashion is viewed by elders and religious leaders as a sign of corruption, shame, and bad morals. Women dressed this way may be denied jobs, insulted on the street, or even harassed in public. So most play it safe. Long skirts, head wraps, modest tops. Not because they want to, but because looking too free means attracting too much attention, and in this country, attention can be dangerous. 6. Virginity is more important than education. In many homes across Burkina Faso, a girl's virginity is guarded like family treasure. Parents watch their daughters closely, not to see if they're studying, but to make sure they're still pure. Girls caught talking to boys, texting at night, or coming home late are punished, even if they've done nothing wrong. And if a girl is found to be no longer a virgin before marriage, the shame can ruin her life. So girls grow up with fear instead of freedom, constantly tested not on their knowledge, but on the tightness of their legs. 5. Brides can be bought like property. In Burkina Faso, a woman's worth can sometimes be measured in cattle, money, or other goods when it comes to marriage. The idea of the bride price, where a man pays the woman's family for her hand in marriage, is still deeply ingrained in society. But it's not about love. It's a financial transaction. The higher the price, the more the woman is seen as valuable. For men, it's a symbol of power, and for women, it's a sign of ownership. The bride has little say in this deal, and her role becomes more about fulfilling a family obligation than choosing her own destiny. Some might say it's tradition, but for the women involved, it's an enforced deal that keeps them locked into old systems. 4. Men's rights dominate women's health choices. When it comes to health in Burkina Faso, men have more say over women's bodies than women themselves. For example, women need permission from their husbands or male guardians for any major health decisions, especially when it involves reproductive health. This often includes things like deciding whether a woman should have children, use birth control, or even seek medical treatment after sexual assault. Men's control over women's health is another layer of power that continues to silence women's voices. When a woman is denied the right to make her own health choices, she becomes a tool, not just in her family, but in society. And that keeps generations of women powerless. 3. Boys are taught to own women from a young age. In schools, homes, and communities across Burkina Faso, boys are taught from a young age that they have power over women. This isn't just a cultural stereotype, it's a foundation of their education. Boys are raised to believe they can have multiple women, they can control them, and women's roles are often seen as secondary. Girls, meanwhile, are taught to serve, stay quiet, and never challenge male authority. This gender disparity extends beyond the classroom. It's a lesson that's ingrained in everyday life. Boys learn they're entitled to women's time, bodies, and respect, often without ever earning it. 2. Condoms are a cultural bombshell. In Burkina Faso, the use of condoms is fraught with cultural and social challenges. For many women, suggesting condom use can lead to accusations of infidelity or promiscuity, putting them at risk of violence or social ostracism. Men, too, may view condoms as a threat to their masculinity or a symbol of mistrust. This cultural stigma surrounding condom use has significant implications for public health, contributing to high rates of sexually transmitted infections, STIs, and unplanned pregnancies. Efforts to promote condom use and sexual education face an uphill battle against deeply ingrained cultural attitudes and social norms. 1. Giving birth in Burkina Faso can be deadly. Maternal mortality is a critical issue in Burkina Faso, with 1 in every 22 women dying from pregnancy-related complications. This alarming statistic is one of the highest in the world, highlighting the significant challenges women face in accessing adequate health care during pregnancy and childbirth. Many women give birth in conditions that lack basic medical facilities, clean water, and trained healthcare professionals. The result is a high risk of complications and death, particularly in rural areas where healthcare services are limited. All right, there you have it. Which fact shocked you the most? Drop it in the comments, and don't forget to like and subscribe to Curvy Destination. This is where truth gets raw, sexy, and brutally honest. The world hides these stories. We expose them.